Alright guys, in this video we're going to be doing questions 6, 7, and 8. And remember, question number 6 is one of the questions that I hope you review before you answer question number 3. Okay, simplify 36y to the 14th power. Here, what we're going to do is we are going to utilize the product rule of radicals. And I'm going to write it here. Suppose if you have two radicals with the same index multiplying each other, we can write that as one radical where the radicands of each radical are being multiplied to each other. And the same thing, vice versa. If we have two or more terms under the same radical being multiplied to each other, we can write that as separate radicals with separate radicands with the same index being multiplied to each other. Now, let's break that up into the square root of 36 times the square root of y to the 14th. When it comes to the square root of 36, what number do we multiply by itself 2 times to get 36? And that is going to be 6. Multiply 6 by itself twice. 6 times 6, 36. We have the square root of y to the 14th power. Let's ask ourselves, how many times can 2 go into 14? 2 goes into 14 a total of 7 times with no remainder. So the square root of y to the 14th will be y to the 7th power. Now, if you want to use the conversion rule that I did in question number 4, we can use that as well. Once again, take our radical, which is y to the 14th, or square root of y to the 14th. Write that as a rational exponent, y to the 14 divided by 2. But if you look here, 14 divided by 2 is 7, y to the 7th power. And that's the same thing as what we have right here. So this is the answer to our question, 6y to the 7th power. Number 7, we want to simplify. And we have the square root of 64 divided by 49. Now we can use the quotient rule of radicals. When we have division under one radical, we can turn that to the division of two radicals with the same index. Let's do that here. So that's going to be the square root of 64 divided by the square root of 49. Square root of 64 is going to be 8. Square root of 49 is going to be 7. The answer is going to be 8 over 7. And that is the radical in its simplest form. The last question, we want to subtract. And let's zoom in a little bit more. Subtract 2b plus 5 over 6b with b minus 6 over 8b. As I said in the first video, when you have subtraction between rational expressions, put the second set in parentheses. When you are subtracting fractions, you must have the same denominator. Both denominators have a b to the first power, so that is fine. However, one has a 6b, the other have an 8b. So we must find our LCD between 6 and 8. So we're going to list out the multiples of 6 and the multiples of 8 and see which is the first number that they have in common. So for 6, it is 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. I like to list out the first 5 multiples. When it comes to 8, it's going to be 8, 16, 24, 32, and 40. You can stop when you reach 24. 24 is the LCD for your coefficients of b. Let's look at the first one. 6b times, or rather, 6 times what number gives us 24? And that is going to be 4. So we're going to multiply 4 here in my denominator. Whatever I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. 8 times what number gives me 24? And that is going to be 3. Multiply it to the bottom, I multiply it to the top. And if you look here, the LCD is going to be 24b. Both has b's, and now both has a 24 in our denominator. So now, when I go over here, and we're going to distribute inside the parentheses. Matter of fact, let's wait until we do that. I'm not going to skip any steps. We have 4 times 2b plus 5 minus 3 times b minus 6 divided by 24b. Because now both has the same denominators, we can put the tops as 1. Then we can distribute. 4 times 2b is 8b. 4 times 5 is 20. Negative 3 times b is negative 3b. Negative 3 times negative 6, positive 18. Over 24b. Excuse my handwriting. Let's combine like terms. 8b minus 3b is 5b. 20 plus 18 is 38. That's over 24b. And that is the answer to question number 8. All right, guys, that is it to this video. Hope you guys understand the solutions to questions 6, 7, and 8. And I'll see you guys soon. Take care.